Merlin here, and we're on another adventure. We're at the Southern Outlaw Dragboat Racing Association's event at Lake Placid, Florida at Lake June Park. So we're gonna walk around with GoPro a little bit and let you see the event here. We just arrived. I've got my camera mounted to my monopod, which is hanging from my camera, so we'll see how this works out.
Waiting for the finish line crew. Our next pair up is going to be Harry Billiot, David Allen. The Blue Allison, driven by Harry Billiot, is a big block Mercury. He's going to be taking on David Allen in the small block Mercury. Both of these guys are veteran racers. You'll see a good fair race here, and it's going to be close. I've seen these guys battle it out for the last couple years, and it's always a really, really close race. What you see is two different types of boats here. The Allison is a straight V-bottom boat, where David Allen's boat is what we call an air entrapment hull. And in my opinion, this is just my opinion, the Allison boat will leave harder. It's harder to drive, but typically the air entrapment hull boat will have a little more on top end. So let's see what happens here. Big Mercury Allison on the inside, small Mercury. Okay, Sean doesn't like how they're paired up. We'll turn them around. Get them lined back up so we can have a good fair race. It's going to be hard to hear with both boats going down, but the Blue Allison with the big block Mercury has a very unique sound too. Somewhat similar to the big OMCs. I see Mr. Sean waving them off. Let's see what the deal is here. I don't think he likes the water. We have to make sure that the water is smooth for these drivers. They're going in excess of 100 miles per hour. And rough water conditions can do crazy things to these boats, especially the V-bottom boats that Harry Billiot's driving. That's the other thing about the air entrapment hull. They can handle rough water a lot better than the Allison because they have multiple sponsons touching the water. Where the Allison, being a V-bottom boat, has one sponson touching the water, and that's the center of the boat. That's why I say they're harder to drive. I describe it as trying to drive a ball bearing. Any of y'all ever tried to drive a ball bearing?
Yeah, really.
All right, I see them coming back in. They'll make the turn. Like they're playing cat and mouse, Sam says. It's real tricky at this race site because trying to make the corner, the outside boat has the longest, the outside boat being away from us has the shortest turn in. So the inside boat has to take the longer route. So you got to get paired up right together to try to make the corner so you can make it.
Don't have that torque difference in the engine. That's the thing we could talk about when you get into actually dynoing engines. I know you've done it as well as I have. Let's talk a little bit about horsepower versus torque. Everybody's got their theories and or their own thoughts on how much power these engines actually make. I can tell you for fact the engine that's on the back of the white boat that we're running here today, we've actually dynoed it. It has actually come from the factory as an E-Tech block, which is different than what Gordon and Ray are running. They're running an earlier motor, earlier block that would be what's called an open deck, which has a little bit better pipe on it.
And we'll finish up with that conversation here after Andy Driver and Gray Leach make their run. It's going to be a great race, you guys. Ray Leach he's hard to beat. On the other hand, so is Andy Driver. So if you're sitting here with your buddy and you're betting $1, first of all, don't tell the Lake Placid police because I'm pretty sure gambling is illegal in Florida. But I'd say you got a 50-50 chance on this one right here. Mercury versus I'm going to let Sam talk to you about winner bracket, loser bracket, who's coming in, who's going out. Mostly at this point it'll be who's going out. So after 2 rounds we're going to see some boats coming out. And every round after this we'll see a boat or 2 coming out. So Sam, can you explain to us about the double elimination and how this bracket works?
Yes, I'll be glad to. Unfortunately, guys, the white boat with Ricky Blake in it should be coming out of the water. He has, unfortunately, lost 2 passes now. You've got Ray that's sitting in the winner's bracket. Andy on that pass would drop down to the loser's bracket.
David Allen in the T2, Ray Leach in the T3. Ray and David. Okay, my bad. Ray Leach in the T1, David Allen in the T2, big block versus small block, yellow versus white, 2 great drivers. See what happens. This is going to be a really good race. All this racing is really good. When we have to go to the finish line camera for every single run, it tells you how close the racing is here at Lake Placid. Once again, thank you all for coming out today. This beautiful weather we're having, temperature's perfect. Perfect day for racing. Driver, big block Mercury versus small block Mercury. Allison versus STV. This is the thing I was talking about a little bit ago. That STV, man, they really run good on the big end. It would be nothing for him to put a prop on this thing, a big 32, 34 piece prop and run close to 140 miles an hour with this boat. Typically you'll see guys run a 20 piece prop so we can get the acceleration that we need to make these boats run 800 feet. I would assume that Andy Driver in the small block Mercury is going to be turning somewhere between 10,700 RPMs at the finish line and 11,000 RPMs, where Harry Billiot will be probably turning around 9,800 to 10,000 RPMs with the big cubic inch motor. Let's watch them. Okay, Chief Starter Sean Floyd sees something he don't like. He's going to turn them around, get them lined back up, so we can see a fair race.
Turtle out there in the water. Straight out front of you. Yeah, really.
Okay, I'm hearing from the Chief Starter, Sean Floyd. He's going to let the waves clear up and where these guys turned around. Said they just wasn't paired up good. It's very, very important, as close as this class is, that they get paired up good, they leave together, and leave at the same speed. So if they're coming in at, say, 8 miles an hour, one boat's at 8 miles an hour, the other boat's at 9.5 or 10. That's a big advantage. You say 1 mile, 1.5 miles an hour is not that big of a deal. In this deal, it certainly is. Sean's going to make sure they're lined up as perfect as he can get it. Both races want to have a good, clean race. So you see Andy coming in, going really slow to make the turn, to let Harry Billiot make the wide turn because he has a further distance to go. So that when they come to that first orange buoy down there, they can be paired up together. So between the first orange buoy and the second orange buoy, that's where they have time to get lined up. You'll see them looking over at each other, making sure they're paired up. And then once they get between, about halfway between the two buoys, they'll focus solely on the light. Here we go. See what our starter says. I don't know if Harry's boat shut off. You can see the engine is tilted up some, which tells me that he activated the trim timer. So what a trim timer is, okay, so not exactly sure what happened, but I'd like to talk about trim timers for a second. So all these boats out here racing have a trim timer, and it's a little computer that's hooked to the gas pedal. That wire goes to your trim computer, so when you floor it, it activates the trim on the boat. Most of these guys are running 24-volt trim, so the boats trim extremely fast. So that's what I see on Harry's boat. When he took off, you could see the motor trimmed up, but didn't go nowhere. So that trim, you can have a delay on it from the time you floor it till the time it starts to trim, and then it has a run time, and it'll trim for X amount of time. I would say the average run time is somewhere around 1 second with the trim being on 24 volts. And the time they floor it, it'll have a little bit of a delay, and that's predetermined by your boat setup. I know on our boat we are somewhere around 0.3 of a second delay, and we run around 1 second of trim time. So that's how these guys are getting these things trimmed up so fast for the boat to take a set to go down the racetrack. I think Sam Jenkins, our technical expert, could probably give us a little more detail. He said I had it about right, and I'm not even a technical expert. Wow. The other thing is that, you know, with the trim computer being on 24 volts, a lot of guys will take and run the run time for 1 second, but maybe at half track, they want to get to the 4. A lot of guys by that I mean either blowing over or blowing out. The Allison boats there, whoever wins this race will carry on. Whoever loses, guess where they're going? Sam says to the trailer, and he's right.
But Chip, here in a little bit, I think you and I need to start talking a little bit about what it's like to actually get to watch our kids follow in our footsteps and do what we do and what we love. I know that you and Mackenzie starting to race motorcycles together too. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct. Let's get this pair out of the way, and we'll talk about that while we've got a little bit of downtime. So Andy Driver on the outside lane, Gordon Montague on the inside, big block versus small block. Waiting on the call at the finish line. Gordon Montague on the inside lane, David Allen on the outside lane. Another classic battle. Big block versus small block. Two great drivers, two veterans. Both of these guys been out here a long time doing this. Sean Floyd at the controls on the start boat. The team giving them the turnaround. Like Gordon a little bit ahead. We'll give them an opportunity.
You know, Chip, when you talk about veterans, I don't think there's really a name that's synonymous to Gordon Montague. Gordon's been doing this for a little over, well, probably well over 30 years. Started this spraying a big V8 with nitrous, and he's still building some of the things.
Yeah, unfortunately, we didn't have any boats in the unlimited class this weekend. Jack Marsh has an unlimited boat with the big Monty V8 on it. That thing is in at 120 miles an hour. 120 miles an hour in a boat at 800 feet. That's amazing. You know, as you said, Sam, Gordon has been out here a long time. Guy's got a lot of knowledge. The fuel injection system they run on these boats is it's an incredible.
I remember you telling me about that.
You run it on a lot of race
I
cars
remember you
and
telling me
motorcycles.
about
Me
that.
coming from the motorcycle world, I'm seeing a lot of motorcycles switching over to fuel tech with the ability to control each cylinder individually, and that's something that Gordon's gotten really good with. He can control fuel and timing per cylinder and get these big OMCs running. David Allen still running the old Mercury stuff, but man, the guy's still competitive as all get out. Let's watch him coming into the start boat here. Turning him around again, you don't like it.
A little bit about what's going on out there. Some of us call cats now, some of us call playing games. Trying to get in each other's heads to see who's going to flinch first. You got Dave, looks like he's trying to lay back a little bit and try to slow the Gordon down to, you know, coming into the start line. What's the purpose of that?
So the purpose of it is, from what I understand, if you lay back, what I mean by that is just hang back. He's going to accelerate towards the start boat.
Coming in for a landing.
From here, hard to tell, but looks like Gordon Montague is all in there. Bass and Ski, you guys get them in the water. We're coming down to the final pair here. Going to be a rematch from the last race in Corral, Alabama. A gentleman just came up here and had one of my t-shirts on from 2002 when I was racing the factory 20 bikes. That's pretty amazing. He got a little shirt on with a little guy on it. And he's on there.
I see that following space, man.
I would say that Gordon doesn't want to get beat by Ray twice in a row, so he's going to lay it all on the line. So that's what you got to do when you're out here. Take no prisoners, lay it all on the line, stay focused.
Well, win, lose, or draw, it's still going to be a mighty win.
One more time, and that will determine our winner. Or they could possibly run 2 or 3 more times depending on the finish line. So we'll see if Gordon can hold Ray off or Ray can hold Gordon off. We're going to see who's going to win. If it's a tie, they'll come back. They'll run again until we get a winner.
I can guarantee you one thing, what they're doing right now is looking at the knobs, figuring out which one they're going to twist to make this boat go a little bit faster. Sometimes it works, and sometimes it winds up getting the tow rope back home.
You know what they say, Sam, lean and mean. I would say
A lot of 90% of his driving is Rick Lindsay. That's X insurance. Okay. He's got all the money.
so. This is a really cool combination right here. We have Allison's bass boat and the inside green, that's your red boat, versus Hunter Jordan
That's what it
in
is.
the XR2002,
It's the whole offshore just went right
which
down.
is a lake boat. And as I was saying earlier,
The only guy who's going to win
this will be your lake boat class. Both of these boats, Allison's, both powered by the 150
now they're
cubic
national
inch
championship.
Mercury.
Because they had to do something.
Lloyd will
And that was
bring
the only
him in,
event
nice
that
and
they called
smooth.
Ralphie up today.
Nice and
Here you
even.
go, buddy.
With the green light, oh,
We're not going to know
we're going to
bees,
turn
no
him
nothing.
around. We didn't like what he saw. It looks from this angle that Hunter Jordan was a little bit out front. So we'll spin him around and get him lined up. So we can have a good spin
By the way,
around.
my new joke, don't take this wrong, Mr. Winnetoma, but I've determined that the assholes of the world are tunnel boat drivers. Yeah, and I mean, it's him with Trent. Just let me do my job on my schedule. I know what I'm doing. You don't know what I'm doing. This has to be done this way. Well, I want it done tomorrow. It can't be done tomorrow. The ship takes X amount of time. He called me. People call me. Oh, I tried to quit. I tried to quit on it. I said, I don't want to do it. Tell me what you're doing. I'm over with Megan. I went back to Russia. I'll go over there tomorrow and I'll be here Tuesday.
With the early lead. He's been one of the boats that's been really hard. Ready for the next pair. You're going to see Hunter Jordan versus Paul Sandstrom.
I'm going to walk around that way and meet you at the car. Nice. Alrighty. Well, this was the Southern Outlaw Dragboat Racing Association's event, Lake Placid, Florida, 2025. This is Merlin. Thanks for watching, and we're out.